I came to SFA in 1997 as an assistant professor, and then in 2004 tenured and was promoted to associate professor. In 2006, I began PA for SFA baseball, and that's when I started PA for SFA volleyball. Shortly after that, I was promoted to full professor, and then we started blog in 2009, and we started radio in 2015 and TV in 2016.
And you guys get to follow along today as we look at a balance between both what I do for athletics and for SFA on the academic side. All right, dudes, have a good day. See you later on. All right, first test complete, got Brett to high school.
Sometimes there is a clear distinction between the academic side as well as the athletic side of campuses. And you've been able to figure out how to be really good at both sides. So first off, when you got the position of PA with baseball and PA in volleyball back in '06, what led you to do that while having your academic position?
Well, I get asked that a lot. I think the answer to that comes from that in academics, you don't have a lot of promotions. So it was about finding other ways to serve. And I love baseball and I love volleyball. So that was just a start. And then you keep blossoming out. So that was a time in my life when I was looking to kind of be part of university life by going out and serving and connecting with other dimensions of the college, of the university that I really hadn't at that point. You know, with volleyball, it was just, I came to watch them for years before working for the team, and I just kept thinking what I think a lot of people think, and that is, why can't we promote this more? I mean, we have an outstanding coach, we have an outstanding program. I mean, this is something that more people ought to know about. So it's just the drive of like, sort of putting the product out there and hoping that more people will kind of catch that fever and kind of grow the game.
And here's what's interesting about this. Brittany Castledine, who we'll see later tonight, my sidekick on ESPN+, this ball was autographed by Brittany's team when Brittany was a freshman. How about that? So I got this Brittany's freshman year when she was a player here at SFA. It's way faded down now, but I keep it for sentimental sake.
How has your family been able to support you with the balancing of everything that you do?
They're it, man. I mean, you have to know like what your non-negotiables are. And the two things that are non-negotiable for me in my life are my faith and my family. Those are not going to be compromised for anything. So yeah, my family supporting me, them adjusting their schedule, especially in the fall when we travel so much. I couldn't do what you see me do, and you and I interact a lot. I would not be able to interact with you from an athletic standpoint if I didn't have both family support, but I really wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing athletically without my home department, without the math and stat department, because those people are great. My colleagues, my chair, the people that I work around up on the third floor of the math building, they're also what makes it go.
For the people that don't know about the blog, talk about how you got it started, and then talk about everything that goes into maintaining the presence and building now kind of your little own baby.
Well, the blog was really an opportunity for me to be a beat writer when it started. I mean, that was the origin of it, was to tell stories. Before we had talented people like you and others that were doing creative content, there wasn't, you know, social media was just starting to intersect with sports when I started that. So it was really, that was an era where what I was doing was writing as much about us as about the entire Southland, which was our conference membership at that time. And that was really when I was getting to know people. Starting the blog is what allowed me to get to know other coaches in and around the Southland or other conferences. It allowed me to get to know other people that were doing broadcasting. It allowed me to get to know people that were in the Southland office. So what the blog was about was not only telling stories about SFA, but about the other teams in the Southland, and that pulled other people in. And that allowed me to meet people that were really key to give me opportunities. So kind of laying that ground. You know, sometimes, you know, you see me in the gym and you're like, how do you know that referee? How do you know that assistant coach? It's from that era when I was doing primarily writing.
SFA volleyball now. I mean, the team, right, like at the current moment, I mean, you're about to go into the gym and game prep for second conference game, a dominant performance in non-conference and getting conference play now. Why should Jack Nation focus on the rest of the season for SFA volleyball?
For one, 3 of the last 5 years we've been in the NCAA tournament. So again, it's that level that's taken a step up. It's too early for us to know whether or not that's the arc that this particular team is going to take. But I think the thing that's really cool about the team as it's currently configured is that a lot of times rosters are fleshed out with a lot of back row players. And I think Coach Humphreys and her staff this year really fleshed out the rest of the roster with a lot of front row players. And I think that tells you a different arc that they want to take. This team's got a lot of really great senior and grad student leadership, but it's also got you know, and you see that in Adi Pagan, you know, you see that in Alon Bradley. Those are, you know, kind of the anchors. You see that in Haley Hong. But you've also got those sophomores that are coming off that first year. I mean, look at Bella Ortiz, right? I mean, dominant in the middle. And look at Jaden Flynn. You know, Maddie Borick should be mentioned in that senior group too. But this team's also got this entire depth of freshmen. And, you know, Ty Joseph has been the one that's gotten the most playing time, but I'm telling you, there are a ton of freshmen on the club right now that simply don't have space. You're gonna see it develop. You're gonna see the coaching staff develop that and get that depth going as we move through WAC play. But there's a lot of players that are just off the court for us that are really gonna help us win as we kind of continue to get the ball rolling. The club's very deep and got a lot of really good freshmen.
The GOAT, I'm not exaggerating, the GOAT of volleyball media, Mr. Greg Miller and SFA Volleyball. To the camera, Axum Jacks.
Axum Jacks.